Doing it all over again for an 11th straight day. Good evening, Les Lazaruk with you from Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. The Saskatoon Berries will play for an 11th straight night, ending a run of 11 games in as many days here tonight as they take on the Moose Jaw Miller Express. It'll be the second game of a mini two-game home series for the Berries against Moose Jaw. Last night, the Berries trailed 3-0 after giving up 3 runs in the third inning. Battled all the way back and finally won it 4-3 with a double off of the left center field fence off the bat of Ethan Murdoch, scoring Cooper Westland all the way from first base. A 4-3 Berries victory last night. It improved their record overall to 28 wins and 4 losses. And, of course, the Berries lead the East Division in the entire Western Canadian Baseball League for that matter. But at 28-4, the Berries have a 7.5 game lead atop the East Division over the Medicine Hat Mavericks. And, they're also 5.5 games up on Okotoks for the overall best record in the league. Okotoks leading the West Division. The Berries have won their last 2 games. They're 17-1 here at Cairns Field this season, and are a perfect 5-0 head-to-head against the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Moose Jaw comes in with a record of 13-20. They're 4th in the East Division. 14.5 games, I should say, back of the Saskatoon Berries. They've lost 4 in a row, have Moose Jaw, 3-7 in their last 10 games. They're 8-10 on the road, so they've got a lot of home games left to play. And 0-5 against the Saskatoon Berries head-to-head. The Berries, I read somewhere today, have a magic number of 8 to clinch a playoff spot. Weyburn is in 5th place outside of the playoffs right now with an 8-22 record. You play 56 games in a regular season. The best that Weyburn can do if they won out would be to win 34 games. Saskatoon has won 28. They just need 7 more wins or 7 losses by Weyburn or a combination of such in order to clinch a playoff spot. They could get that done by the time this weekend rolls around. They're not even at the All-Star break. As we move it on over here and grab a listen to our national anthem prior to tonight's game. All right, we're just about set and ready to go here tonight at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. The Berries and the Moose Jaw Miller Express. As the Berries wearing purple, which they normally wear on the road, but it is purple in the park night tonight. So Berries wearing their purple tops to go along with white pants as they take on the Moose Jaw Miller Express, who are wearing Canada tops and black in color. So as we get the ceremonies on the field happening here right now, the ceremonial opening pitch, the delivery of the game ball, let's tell you that the starting pitcher tonight for the Saskatoon Berries is Michael on Nebraska, coming off his freshman year at the University of Nebraska. 6'2", 205-pound right-hander. Michael Saul will make his 7th appearance of the season and his 4th start. He started the year as a reliever. This will be his 4th straight appearance as a starter. 1 win, no losses, a 3.50 earned run average. He's pitched 18 innings, allowed 11 hits, 9 runs, 7 of them earned. Has struck out 22 and walked 8 in 18 innings. His last appearance for Michael Saul was against the Moose Jaw Miller Express in this ballpark last Wednesday when the Berries came from behind and won 8-7 in 10 innings. That night, Michael Saul pitched 4 in the 3rd innings, allowed 5 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, struck out 6 and walked 3, did not get a decision in the game. Michael Saul will have behind him defensively in the outfield from right to left. In right field is Evan Janner. The center fielder is Carter Beck. The left fielder, Jalen Freeman. In the infield from left to right, it's Cooper Westland at third base. Nathan Houston's the shortstop. Abiam Medina is the second baseman. And the first baseman, Ethan Menard. Rudy Gonzalez is the catcher. And Michael Saul the pitcher. The Moose Jaw Miller Express will send up pretty much the same batting order as they did last night, with one exception. Jackson Martin is the designated hitter tonight. William Edwards moves from DH to center field. And Pacey Phillips is not in the game tonight. Martin will bat in the 8th spot. Thomas Soto, the shortstop, William Edwards in center field, and Austin Gurney, the right fielder, are the first 3 men to face Michael Saul on this hot and windy Tuesday evening here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. The first pitch, Soto fouls it back into the screen. Strike 1, our first pitch at 7:02. I mentioned it's warm out. Strike 2 on the outside corner to Soto. Mostly cloudy skies, they're saying. Not as bad here as they may be at the airport. 28 degrees Celsius. Winds out of the southeast gusting to 39 kilometers per hour. Soto hits this on the ground to second baseman. Close play at first, but Soto able to beat it out. Abiam Medina had to range far to his left in the hole between first and second. Fielded the ball and got the ball throw off, but Soto beats it out for an infield hit. And Moose Jaw gets the first man on base and extends his hitting streak to Thomas Soto to 6 games. They bring up William Edwards, the center fielder. First pitch is in there for a strike. Home plate umpire tonight is Trevor Drury. First base umpire is Rob Allen, the crew chief. And the third base umpire is Aaron Jevolt. Fouled off by Edwards, a line wide of the bag at first. He's quickly behind 0-2. Pitch to Edwards. Breaking pitch, hit in the air to left. The south wind, that one is carrying, and off the fence. Soto will stop up at third, as that's a wind-assisted double for William Edwards. And we have runners on second and third with nobody out. Mention that wind blowing out of the southeast, gusting to 39 kilometers an hour. That is taking balls out towards left field. So Austin Garvey, the right fielder, is up. Austin Gurney with 40 RBI, which leads the Western Canadian Baseball League. 5th in batting average at .398. And 2nd in hits with 53. Berries will play the defense back. They'll concede a run to get an out here in the top of the first inning. First ball hitting, high in the air. Carter Beck coming in. Shallow center field, makes the catch. Soto takes a few steps down the line at third and then holds up. And so an out recorded by the Berries without Moose Jaw scoring a run. Eduardo Saenz, the third baseman, coming to the plate. Saenz with 18 RBI on the year, hitting .248. 25 hits in 101 at-bats. Second and third with one away here in the top of the first inning. Moose Jaw looking to get off to a good start. Michael Saul. First pitch bounced in. Good block by Rudy Gonzalez. Ball one. Left fielder Tanner DeGrazia on deck. Saenz was 1 for 4 last night. Extended a hitting streak to 4 games, during which he's 5 for 15 with a home run and 4 RBI. Breaking ball down and away, ball 2. Saenz ahead in the count, 2-0. He steps out of the batter's box. He'll look for something that he can drive. Medium depth in the outfield. That one is outside. 3-0. Saul in danger of loading the bases. Although that wouldn't be the worst thing that could happen. 3-0 pitch. Taken all the way for a strike by Saenz. 3-1. You walk him and you got to force at every base for the left fielder Tanner DeGrazia coming up, if that's what ends up happening. Michael Saul and Rudy Gonzalez trying to get together on Saenz. What they're going to throw. And now Saenz calls for time as Saul and Gonzalez can't come together on what to pitch. Somebody warming up down the right field line in the Berries bullpen, but not wearing a jersey. Wouldn't be surprised if that's Robert Bonilla. Saenz line drive, left field, base hit. Freeman over to collect it, but 2 runs are going to score. Edwards in from second right behind Thomas Soto, and a 2-run single for the cleanup man Eduardo Saenz gives Moose Jaw a 2-0 lead here. A runner on first with 1 away. Tanner DeGrazia on deck, on the bat now. Takes the first pitch down low, ball 1. DeGrazia hitting .272, 31 hits in 114 at-bats. 2 home runs and 16 RBIs. Another line drive to left field and a base hit. That's 4 hits in the inning already for Moose Jaw as Saenz moves up to second. 1 away, 2 runners on. And Gustavo Soto, the catcher, coming to the plate. Michael Saul getting a little bit of a rough going over here in the first inning. We'll try and battle back. Saul out of the stretch. First pitch to Gustavo Soto is a breaking ball in for a strike. Saul has been throwing strikes for the most part to the first pitches he throws to hitters. 1 strike count. Hit in the air. This one's twisting foul down the right field side and into the Berries bullpen, and almost caught by a fan in behind the Berries bullpen out of play. 2 strikes on Soto. First baseman Jackson Yeager on deck. Players get back into their positions. Michael Saul ready to deliver a 2-strike pitch to Gustavo Soto. On the ground to third. That eats up Westland as he backed up on the play. And that'll load the bases. Still with 1 away. An error to the third baseman, Cooper Westland. And it'll bring up the first baseman, Jackson Yeager, who's tied for third in the league with 30 RBI. So now bases loaded. Ethan Menard, the first baseman, playing on the edge of the infield grass. Yeager, first pitch swinging, was going for the downs, and it's a strike. Curved ball hit on the ground. Westland picks it up, steps on third for one. The throw across the diamond is in time. A double play, and a badly needed one for the Berries as they surrender 2 runs in the top of the first inning. On 4 hits, the Berries committed 1 error and 1 runner left on base. 2 runners left on base. After a half an inning, it is the Moose Jaw Miller Express 2, and the Saskatoon Berries coming to bat as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Yep. Rodolfo Guardiola gets the ball to pitch tonight to start for Moose Jaw. Just like Michael Saul, Guardiola last pitched here in this ballpark back last Wednesday. Again, he did not get the decision as he was the starting pitcher, and the Berries come from behind 8-7 10-inning win. Guardiola that night pitched 5 innings, allowed 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 of the Merns, struck out 2 and walked 4. For the season for Rodolfo Guardiola out of Laredo, Texas, coming off his sophomore year at Texas A&M International. 6'3", 210-pound right-hander. He is making his 8th appearance and 7th start. 2 wins, 1 loss, a earned run average of 4.86. 33 and a third innings pitched. He's allowed 34 hits, 20 runs, 18 of them earned, has struck out 23 and walked 18. He'll face Ethan Menard, the Berries' first baseman, center fielder Carter Beck, and shortstop Nathan Houston to lead it off here for the Berries in the bottom of the first. Saskatoon trailing already by a score of 2-0. Menard, leading average hitter in the WCBL at .429, 36 hits and 84 at-bats, tied for the league lead in home runs with 8, and 25 runs batted in. Guardiola's first pitch, an off-speed breaking ball down low, ball once, or strike one I should say, with a swing and a miss by Menard. Rodolfo Guardiola delivers. That one is outside and away, ball 1, low. Menard was 2 for 5 last night, extended his hitting streak to 5 games, during which he's hitting .440. Line drive into left field. That'll get down and be cut off before it could get all the way to the fence. Thrown back in by left fielder Tanner DeGrazia. That's a solid base hit for Ethan Menard, who's happy about that. He'll always show you how he feels emotion-wise. Anything good, the fists are pumping and trying to get the teammates going, and that'll do it. Leading off with a single here in the bottom of the first inning, brings up Carter Beck, Barry's center fielder. First pitch inside, ball 1. Beck hitting .326, 30 hits in 92 at-bats. 2 home runs and 19 RBIs, but again, remind you that there's a 3-homer game from June 6th in Moose Jaw that has mysteriously been taken out of the stats and out of the records, being worked on for an issue of some kind. Once it gets back in there, Beck's numbers will dramatically increase. 2-0 pitch to him. That's inside. 3-0. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, on deck. Carter Beck, a little bit of a struggle of recent for the Carnduff Saskatchewan product. Just 143 in his last 4 games, 2 for 14 as he takes a strike on the 3-0 count. 3-1. He does have 4 RBI, though, in those last 4 games, so he's still being productive, even though he doesn't have the hits. Up high, ball 4. And the Berries get their first 2 men on, like Moose Jaw did, in the top half of the first inning. So now it's Nathan Houston, former Moose Jaw Miller Express from last year when he was full-time and an AP in 2023. Hitting .348, 40 hits in 115 at-bats. Houston leads the Berries in the hits department. Guardiola checks the runners, delivers. Fouled off, strike 1. A.B. Medina, the second baseman, on deck. Houston has a home run this year and 27 runs batted in to go along with that .348 average. Line shot into center field, a base hit. Menard going to be held up at third as William Edwards, a great throw. That gets past the catcher. Menard is going to come home. The throw to the plate, not in time. That was a great throw home by the center fielder, and it got through the catcher all the way to the backstop. So an unearned run on an error to the catcher, Gustavo Soto. A single for Houston. And Carter Beck to third, and Houston ends up at second because of that error. So 2-1 now. Nobody out, and A.B.M. Medina, the batter, with 2 runners in scoring position for the Berries in the bottom of the first inning. Middle infielders play back. Corner infielders even with the bags. For Medina, the cleanup hitter. Fouls off the first pitch, strike 1. A.B.M. Medina hitting .374. 34 hits in 91 at-bats. 2 home runs, 22 RBIs. Medina 2 for 5 with an RBI last night. One strike the count on the Berries' second baseman. Fouled up the first baseline, and quickly Medina in a hole, 2 strikes against Rodolfo Guardiola. Medina out of Ponce, Puerto Rico, has been productive from the left side of the plate. 2-strike pitch, upstairs inside, ball 1. Ethan Murdoch, last night's hitting hero in the bottom of the 9th inning, is on deck. Murdoch drove in the winning run in the bottom of the 9th with a blast that looked like it might carry out of the ballpark, but was not able to be handled at the wall by Pacey Phillips, the center field, and bounced back towards the infield, allowing Cooper Westland to score all the way from first. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Guardiola gets a badly needed strikeout for the first out in the bottom of the first inning. Ethan Murdoch to the plate. 2 for 5 with an RBI last night. hitting .291 for the season, 30 hits and 103 at-bats. 3 home runs, 20 RBI. Another guy who will benefit from that game sheet from June 6th being back in play as Murdoch fouls it off. He had a couple of home runs that night in Moose Jaw at Roswell's Park. Murdoch on a 9-game hitting streak coming in, thanks to the 2 for 5 last night. 11 for 38 in that time. Not quite 300. Swing and a miss. Down 0-2 on a breaking ball. Evan Janner, the right fielder, is on deck. Couple of hits and a walk for the Berries here in the bottom of the first inning as they look to answer back. Moose Jaw's 2-run top of the first. 2-strike pitch. Check swing foul, and that's into the crowd. And luckily nobody hurt. Count remains 0-2 because that had some hot sauce on it. Murdoch from Swift Current. 2-strike pitch. Ooh, close but not called. 1-2. Maybe a little low, maybe outside a touch. Hard to tell from this angle as I look right down the right field line. Not directly behind home plate is the way our situation is here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 1-2 the count on Ethan Murdoch. Guardiola delivers on the ground towards short. Soto can't come up with it. In to score the tying run is Carter Beck, and Nathan Houston comes down to third. Murdoch is on with an error, I believe, to the shortstop Soto. That brings in another unearned run. Second error of the inning for Moose Jaw. Still 1 away and runners on first and third with the score tied at 2-2. And it's Evan Janner, who did not play in last night's game, in right field tonight. Guardiola holds on to the ball. And the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike to Evan Janner. Hitting .302, 16 hits and 53 at-bats, a couple of home runs and 12 RBIs. Product of New Braunfels, Texas. Left-hand hitter. Fouls one off. He's behind 0-2. Cooper Westland, the third baseman, is on deck. Janner attended the University of Texas at Rio Grande Valley this last couple of years. Hit .271 this past season with 13 hits and 48 at-bats. 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. He fouls the 0-2 pitch off towards the Berries' first base dugout. Count holds at 0-2. Guardiola ahead, 0-2. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. Couple of strikeouts for Rodolfo Guardiola in amongst 2 hits, a walk, and a couple of errors. Cooper Westland to the plate. He also did not start last night's game, but he did come into play. Came in as a pinch runner, as the courtesy runner to start, or not the courtesy runner, he came on for pinch runner for Mason Rell after he walked. Westland line drive, but that's hooking foul down the right field line, strike 1. We'll get that correct for you. Westland coming into the game as a pinch runner last night at first base for Mason Rell after he walked to lead off the bottom of the 9th inning, and then he scored on the Ethan Murdoch double off the center field fence to give the Berries the victory. Westland from Lincoln, Nebraska. Like all the American guys on the team have said, pretty much to a man, enjoying their time here in Saskatoon. and playing in the Western Canadian Baseball League. That pitch down low, 1-1. Westland hit 133 in limited time with University of Nebraska at Omaha this past university season. Little looper, that'll find its way into center field, a base hit, and the Berries have a lead now. As Nathan Houston scores from third, Ethan Murdoch up to second. An RBI for Cooper Westland, his 12th of the season, as he came into the game with a .303 batting average and now has a 5-game hitting streak, during which he's 8 for 18, hitting .444 in that time. Left fielder Jalen Freeman now to the plate. Next time up, I'm going to wander through everything that it says about Jalen in these sheets that I have from Baseball Reference and Baseball Cube. To say he's a baseball nomad would be an understatement. 1 strike on the first pitch from Guardiola. It's actually quite entertaining to read. We'll see if you feel it's as entertaining as I do. Maybe I just have a weird sense of humor as Guardiola steps off. Ethan Murdoch at second base, Cooper Westland at first. Left-hand hitting Jalen Freeman at the dish. 1 strike pitch bounced in. Gustavo Soto blocks and is able to find it, so it's 1-1 the count. Runners thought about advancing, but held their ground as the ball bounced off the catcher and landed on the plate. He did a little spin and then realized where the ball was. Guardiola, he's thrown a few pitches this inning, facing his 8th hitter already. 1-1, chopped on the ground, taken by the second baseman and thrown out to first, and that's the end of the inning. But the Berries respond in the bottom of the first inning with 3 runs on 3 hits. Moose Jaw committed 2 errors, and there's 2 runners left on base. After 1 inning, Saskatoon 3, Moose Jaw 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
Like 25, 23?
18 to 23.
Okay.
Kind of like junior hockey.
Yeah. I told Greg about the 22 streak and he couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm. Only 3 guys in the first inning, 2 from Moose Jaw and 1 from the Berries, did not get to hit in the opening inning, in which the Berries scored 3 times and Moose Jaw twice. We head to the top of the second inning. It'll be the 8-9 hitters, and then back to the top of the order for the Miller Express. Jackson Martin, the designated hitter, up first. He's a left-handed hitter. Did not see action last night on behalf of the Miller Express. Hitting .184, 7 hits and 38 at-bats, but does have 9 RBI. Michael Saul's first pitch is in there for a strike. Jackson Martin from Grand Coulee, Saskatchewan. Hits a line drive into left field. Jalen Freeman comes over to his left a few steps, makes the catch, and 1 away. Bring up Ben Wallachek, the second baseman. Not very big guy, 5'10", 171 pounds is Wallachek, out of Wichita, Kansas. A teammate of Carter Beck and Mason Rell and Zach Laird with the Berries during the college season at Indiana State. Wallachek looks like he's got some sneaky power. He's hit some big, long fly ball fouls on a pull. Doesn't have a home run yet as he takes strike one. Saul's pitch hit on the ground sharply. Houston will field it, and the throw over to first in time, 2 away. So Thomas Soto to the dish. Singled and scored his first time up. Extended his hitting streak to 6 games. He's hitting .333 now during that time, 7 for 21. He was 1 for 3 last night. And now 3 for 17. Head-to-head against the Berries. Takes the first pitch down low for a ball. One and 0 the count. Foul back to the screen. Strike one. 1-1. Apparently my mic was too hot. Fouled off by Soto. 1-2. Who knows? Maybe me on reverb sounds better. 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. I really don't need that much help with gain in order to reverb. If I really get going, I could probably overpower darn near any mic. 2-2 pitch. Soto hammers that into the ground. Bouncing ball taken at second. The throw on to first is in time. Good defensive play by Abiam Medina, and that's a 1-2-3. Top of the second inning for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. No runs, no hits. No Berries errors, nobody left on base after an inning and a half. Saskatoon 3, Moose Jaw 2. As you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Just oh yeah. Oh, yeah, it'll be cooking out there. Kind of like the look of the uniform that Moose Jaw is wearing tonight, the top. Love the Canada jersey. Still not sure if I like black. To me, Canada's red and white. Not black, but a lot of folks seem to like it. So until I become Prime Minister, that's a good one. Nobody wants me in charge. Trust me. You think some people don't like the guy down south? I might be less popular. Bottom of the second inning, 3-2. Saskatoon Berries with the lead. The only guy to not hit in the Berries lineup in the bottom of the first inning is up now to lead off the bottom of the second. That's Rudy Gonzalez, the catcher, into a game. He came in late last night defensively after a pinch runner for Balin Sorensen. Strike one to Rudy Gonzalez, who's 0 for 3 in the one start he's made. This is his third game he's appearing in. All at home. On the ground, that gets through. There's your first Western Canadian Baseball League base hit, and first hit as a Berry for Rudy Gonzalez. Fourth of the night for the Berries, and a leadoff man on to bring out the top of the order. Ethan Menard, who extended his hitting streak to 6 games in the bottom of the first, scored a run. Now 8 for 15 head-to-head against Moose Jaw this season with an RBI. Rodolfo Guardiola will check on Gonzalez at first. Gonzalez, I don't know what he's going to take off and run or not. He's got a decent-sized lead at first. Pitch in the dirt, blocked by Gustavo Soto. Ball 1 to Ethan Menard from Opelousas, Louisiana. It says he can do a Louisiana-style jig as a very fun fact. I want to see that. This one's hit in the air, center field. William Edwards is positioned himself well, just moves in a couple of steps, makes the catch, and there's one away. Carter Beck to the plate now. Beck walked and scored in the first inning. Carter Beck was 1 for 3 last night. Just 2 for 12 with an RBI for the season against Moose Jaw. Kind of Saskatchewan product, as I mentioned before. Went to Indiana State University this past winter. And a pitch on the outside corner, strike 1. Beck says, okay, so long as you're consistent with that, I know what the limits are, what the zone is. Trevor Drury is the home plate umpire tonight, veteran, arbiter in this league. Popped up, shallow left field, coming on, and making the catch is Tanner DeGrazia, and there's 2 away. So now Nathan Houston, who singled and scored in the bottom of the first inning, will get his second plate appearance. Houston was 0 for 4 last night. And prior to the hit last inning, was only 1 hit and 11 at-bats in the previous 3 games. So he and Beck trying to snap out of it. There's a toss over to first to check on Rudy Gonzalez, the runner at first for Saskatoon. Another check on the runner at first. 2 away and a runner on first. You might want to get Gonzalez stealing a base in order to get the position to score. And again, a check on the runner at first, as Rodolfo Guardiola is thinking along with me, thinking that the Berries might very well be sending their catcher to try and get into scoring position. He doesn't go, and a pitch that bounced down in the dirt. Ball 1 to Nathan Houston. Gonzalez takes his lead at first. 1 ball pitch in there for a strike. 1-1. And now the Diamond Club seating umpires are on home plate umpire Trevor Drury. Well, it didn't take very long for that to get started. Bottom of the second. That's in there for a strike. Now 1-2 on Houston. I missed that. Oh, he gave him a good call. Okay. Well, at least they are complimentary. 1-2 pitch. That one down in the dirt and outside. Good stop by Soto. 2 balls, 2 strikes. AB and Medina on deck. I would expect Joe Carnahan to be on his best behavior tonight. Same thing with Dustin Mulligan on the Moose Jaw side after both were ejected last night. Houston on the ground towards third. Signs, bobbles it, throws on to first, and not in time. Took the first baseman Yeager off the bag with a bit of a high throw, and so Gonzalez advances to second. That would be an error to the third baseman. And that's 3 errors already in the ball game for Houston, or for Moose Jaw, I should say. AB and Medina up to the plate, struck out last inning. For Eduardo Sainz. An error to him. Now line drive into left center field. That will be over the head of DeGrazia. He leaped at it and missed. Coming in to score is Gonzalez. Around third and coming in to score is Nathan Houston. And a double for AB and Medina. Drives in 2 runs and makes the score 5-2 for for the Saskatoon Berries here in the bottom of the second inning. Medina's to second on the play with the double. His 5th double of the year, and RBIs 23 and 24 of the season. And here comes Dustin Mulliken out to chat with pitcher Guardiola. Nobody up warming up in the Moose Jaw left field bullpen. This is just more a chat between catcher and pitcher to try to get them to figure out what exactly they want to get done. It'll be Ethan Murdoch to the plate now. He reached on an error to the shortstop Thomas Soto back in the first inning. As PA announcer here at the ballpark, Simon Hyatt, wants the crowd to get loud. Good sized crowd on a Tuesday evening to see some baseball in the Western Canadian Baseball League. Guardiola's first pitch to Murdoch, swung on and foul tipped into the glove of the catcher, strike one. Couple of runs on a couple of hits and a Moose Jaw error here in the bottom of the second. Low and away with a breaking ball, 1-1. Evan Janner, the right fielder, on deck for the Saskatoon Berries. Guardiola steps off. And now Gustavo Soto needs a different mitt. The catcher for Moose Jaw Miller Express. We had a blowout on that catcher's mitt. He'll want to get that fixed and will take somebody else's. Of course, teams carry more than just one catcher, and they all seem to have their own glove. Evan Derringer and Andrew Niavas are also listed as catchers for the Miller Express, so one of them, I'm sure, has offered the mitt to their compatriot. Rodolfo Guardiola ready to deliver to Ethan Murdoch, a 1-1 count. On the ground to third, Signs takes that off the one hop, throw across the diamond in time, and that retires the side. But not before the Berries score another couple of runs. On 2 hits, 1 Moose Jaw error, and 1 runner left on base. After 2 complete, it's Saskatoon 5, Moose Jaw 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Michael Saul back out for the top of the third inning. He now has a 5-2 lead. Right-hander for the Berries out of Omaha, Nebraska. Went to high school at Creighton Preparatory School in Omaha. 6'2", 205-pound right-hander. He'll face the numbers 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Moose Jaw. William Edwards, Austin Gurney, and Eduardo Signs. Edwards doubled and scored back in the first inning. The Australian. First pitch down, low, ball 1. Edwards was 0 for 3 last night. 5 for 16 now on the season against Saskatoon, as there's a pitch on the inside corner, strike 1. 5 for 16, I think that's a 312 or 313 average. Breaking ball in for a strike, 1-2. Edwards with hits in 9 of 10 games now. 16 for 37 in that time. A couple of home runs and 14 RBI. Little line drive that's going to bounce. Medina up with it. The throw in time at first base. Good stretch by Ethan Menard as that one took a little bit of almost like a straight up in the air hop when it landed on the ground. And Medina on the shortstop side of second base, able to make the throw across just in time to retire William Edwards. 5 straight now retired by Michael Saul as he tries to settle in. Austin Gurney coming up. Flew out to center field his first time up. Gurney 1 for 4 with an RBI last night. Takes a strike. Gurney hitting .500 against the Berries. 9 for 18 with 7 RBI. Hits it right back to the mound. Saul will run it halfway, 3/4 of the way to first, and then an underhand flip to Menard. And quickly there's 2 away for the Moose Jaw Miller Express here in the top of the 3rd inning. It'll bring up Eduardo Saenz, the third baseman, who singled and drove in both Moose Jaw runs in the top of the 1st inning. Saenz now with 20 RBI on the year, thanks to that 1st inning single in which he had extended his hitting streak to 5 games, hitting .375 in that time, 6 for 16. 6 RBI now in that time. First pitch strike from Michael Saul, who's found the range. After a bit of a rocky start, gave up 4 hits and a couple of runs in the 1st inning, top of the 1st. Hit in the air, well hit. Right center field, Beck going, and he can't make the catch. Got there and got the glove on it, but couldn't squeeze it. And into second base is Eduardo Saenz. I'm helping out the official scores. I think it's a double myself. The fact that he ran that far, regardless of whether he got his glove on it, I'll tell you what, in the major leagues, that's a double. Every time. They side with the hitters, not with the... No, I'm not necessarily right. Fouled off strike, but I sold them on it. Yay. DeGrazia, the batter, takes a strike with a foul, singled his first time up in the 1st inning. Saenz is on second base. DeGrazia swings and misses at an off-speed breaking ball, 2 strikes. Ends a run of 6 straight batters retired by Saul. Now he'll try and get DeGrazia, 2-strike count. And a breaking pitch down low, ball 1, 1-2. Gustavo Soto, the catcher, is on deck. Hit in the air, high in the air. That one's in the jet stream. And Jalen Freeman, though in front of the warning track down the left field line, makes the catch to end the inning. 1 hit and 1 runner left on base for Moose Jaw in the top of the 3rd inning. And after 2.5, it's Saskatoon 5 and the Miller Express 2 as you're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. Sorry, guys, I just wanted to offer my opinion, that's all. Oh, if he camped under it.
My thought is, or jogged to it. Maybe the part that I didn't think about is, this is a bunch of college boys.
Yeah.
And if they drop one that goes off their mitt, it's a hit.
Yeah.
If it's the majors and he hits his glove and he's in the open field, it's an error.
Oh, absolutely.
Unless he hit the wall.
Yeah.
And something.
Or he has to run a long way.
The wall.
Yeah, or something like that.
Expectation is so much.
Oh, yeah,
bigger,
absolutely. Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So.
No, for sure.
And I know because I played center field. Your eyes are moving. Oh yeah. You're trying to catch it here.
Bottom of the third inning, Rodolfo Guardiola back out to pitch for Moose Jaw, down 5-2. He'll face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Berries here in the bottom of the third inning. Evan Janner, the right fielder, Cooper Westland, the third baseman, and Jalen Freeman, the left fielder. Janner coming up, struck out his first time up. He leads the team with 14 stolen bases. He'll take off just about any time when he gets on base. Janner 3 for 8 in his last 2 games. Is 2 for 4 with an RBI head-to-head against the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Guardiola takes the sign from catcher Gustavo Soto, and we're ready to start the bottom of the third. And a off-speed breaking pitch in for a strike. Guardiola ready to go again. That one bounces in, ball 1. He's got a bit of a herky-jerky throwing motion, does Rodolfo Guardiola. Looks like he might be throwing a knuckle curve out there. As we'll watch the release point. Seemed to have the one finger kind of jammed up against the ball when he throws that curve. Check swing, not called by the third base umpire Aaron Javolt. The appeal not granted. 2 balls, 1 strike on Evan Janner. Guardiola's pitch is fouled back to the screen, 2-2. If he's throwing some kind of a knuckler and it doesn't, or it starts to spin the seams, then it becomes absolute meat to hit. But if you can get consistent, no spin on that ball, it does some wonderful dancing for you as a pitcher, and you can get a lot of outs. Full count now on Evan Janner on what looked to be like a fastball down low from Guardiola. 1,000 years ago, I tried to throw a knuckler. Off the bat, and that is a fair ball. Mishandled by Signs. He still has a chance to get him and doesn't. Well, what a play that was. Cued off the bat. Janner thought it was foul. It was fair. Halfway between home plate and third base, and Signs, the third baseman, overran it. And as a result, Janner gets on base on another error to Eduardo Signs, his second of the game and the 4th by the Moose Jaw Miller Express already tonight. It'll bring up Cooper Westland, who singled and drove in a run back in the bottom of the third inning. Chopped over top of the pitcher, taken by the second baseman Wallachek. His only play is to retire Westland at first base. Janner on to second. 1 away. And up comes Jalen Freeman. 24-year-old from Houston, Texas. Went to high school at Glenda Dawson High School in Pearland, Texas. Here's the list of the colleges he's played for. Angelina College in Lufkin, Texas. Eastern New Mexico University in Portales, New Mexico. Texas Southern University in Houston. University of Texas Rio Grande Valley in Brownsville, Texas. And Western Texas College in Snyder, Texas. Needless to say, he's played his 4 years of college baseball. Probably throw a 5th year in there. He's coming off his senior year at Eastern New Mexico. Janner at second. He's liable to take off stealing. Freeman first pitch swinging is a strike. He grounded out to second to end off the bottom of the first inning. Jalen's on a 9-game hitting streak coming into tonight, during which he has 8 RBI. Outside, ball 1, 1-1. Rudy Gonzalez, the catcher, on deck. Nobody warming up in either bullpen here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's the starters game so far, 5-2, Berries with the lead on Moose Jaw. Tuesday night baseball. Fouled back onto the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Freeman 1 for 4 last night in the game here with an RBI. Hitting .250 head-to-head against Moose Jaw with 3 runs batted in. Guardiola checking on the runner, Janner. This one's hit up the middle. Soto up with it, juggles the ball, throws on to first in time as Janner comes over to third base. The exchange from glove to hand almost cost Thomas Soto, but he was able to recover and make a strong throw for the second out. So Janner at second, Janner is at third, and Rudy Gonzalez, who had his first hit as a Berrien in the Western Canadian Baseball League, his last time up last inning, leading off the second. He also scored. And he's got a line drive into right field. That is going to get down in front of Austin Gurney. Janner will score. Mishandled by Gurney. Gonzalez hustles into second and makes it safely. Single and an error on the right fielder Gurney to allow Gonzalez to get into scoring position. That's an RBI for Gonzalez. And that is his second already. 2 for 2 on the night for Rudy Gonzalez. Make it 6-2. And a runner on second base. And Ethan Menard up for a 3rd time in just the 3rd inning. Down low, blocked by Gustavo Soto, ball 1. 5 errors here by the Moose Jaw Miller Express. They have not helped out their starting pitcher whatsoever tonight. Moose Jaw generally a pretty good defensive team. Menard slaps a line drive into right field, base hit. Gonzalez around third. Gurney's throw going to be cut. Yeager, the first baseman, tried to pick it home. Now a throw down to second, and they've got Menard. As Menard bumped with Thomas Soto, who took the throw and put the tag on. Menard checks on the Moose Jaw shortstop, who got a smack on the side of the face and appears to be all right. As he gets up, Menard checking on him. Everything's good. That's the end of the inning. Gonzalez scores to make it 7-2. A single, and Menard then gets thrown out. And that was the 3rd out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. For the Berries in the bottom of the 3rd, 2 runs on 2 hits. There was 2 Moose Jaw errors, and nobody left on base. After 3 complete, it is Saskatoon 7, Moose Jaw 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
I kind of screwed up and hit strikeout when Menard got it.
Okay.
So I threw it back.
Yeah, that's fine. You're good.
It's a 5.
No, it's top of the 4th. You're right.
I know, but it went.
No, that's no problem. No problem.
Did I miss a hit?
No, you got one too many. Yep. Yep. 3, 3, 5, 5, 7, 7. 1, 2, 1, 3. For these guys. 2, 5. Yeah, I've got that already. 2, 5, and 5, 3. Michael Saul back out for the top of the fourth inning as we get a look at the unofficial line score through 3 innings of play for the Saskatoon Berries. 7 runs on 7 hits. They've committed 1 error and they've left 3 runners on base. For the Moose Jaw Miller Express, 2 runs on 5 hits. They've committed 5 errors. They've left 3 runners on base. For Moose Jaw here in the top of the fourth inning, it's Gustavo Soto, the catcher, Jackson Yeager, the first baseman, and Jackson Martin, the DH. First pitch to Soto's a ball. Now a line drive into center field, but Carter Beck coming over to his right, able to make the catch, and there's 1 away. Soto 0 for 2 now. Jackson Yeager grounded into a double play to end the top of the first inning. Yeager 1 for 4 last night and 2 for 15 in the season series against the Berries, hitting .133. Hits a hard grounder. Medina takes that at second and loads to first in time. 3 pitches, 2 outs here for Moose Jaw in the top of the fourth inning. It'll bring up the designated hitter, Jackson Martin, who flew out to left field to lead off the second inning. Michael Saul has settled in since giving up 4 hits, had an error behind him, gave up 2 runs in the first. Since then, he's allowed just 1 hit. A first pitch strike to Jackson Martin. He doesn't have a strikeout. He hasn't walked anybody, has Michael Saul. It's let the defense do the job behind them, and they've done it as swing and a miss by Martin, 2 strikes. Moose Jaw with 5 errors tonight, came into tonight with 43 errors as a team, which was the 4th fewest out of the 12 teams in the Western Canadian Baseball League. Their team fielding percentage was .963, which was tied for second, as there's a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's another 1-2-3 inning for Michael Saul. First strikeout of the night for Saul. Nothing across for Moose Jaw in the top of the fourth. No runs, no hits, no Berries errors, no runners left on base after 3.5. Saskatoon 7, Moose Jaw 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Nope, just when the bat catcher hits and has to get his equipment on, another one comes out to take some pitches before the regular one's ready to go again. Everybody in the pool tonight in the WCBL. All 12 teams are in action. Let's have a look around the league. In the top of the third inning, Regina at home leads Swift Current already 10-0. In the bottom of the third, Medicine Hat has jumped out ahead of Weyburn 8-0. Bottom of the third, Fort McMurray leads in Spruce Grove, Alberta over Energy City 2-zip. The bottom of the third, Okotoks leads Lethbridge 1-0. And in the top of the third inning, Brooks ahead of Sylvan Lake by a score of 5-3. That's elsewhere in the Western Canadian Baseball League tonight as we're heading to the bottom of the fourth inning. Carter Beck, Nathan Houston, and Abiam Medina for the Berries against Rodolfo Guardiola, who unofficially has thrown 58 pitches coming into this inning. Has surrendered runs in each of the first 3 innings. First pitch to Carter Beck is down low, ball 1. Just over an hour into our ball game tonight. Still say mostly cloudy conditions at the airport. Partly cloudy here as that breaking ball is down low 2-0. 26 degrees Celsius. Southeast wind gusting to 43 kilometers an hour, so that hasn't abated yet. It may not. Means anything in the air to left field gets a little bit of extra push. 2-0 pitch. A strike called on Beck. 0 for 1. A walk and scored a run. Back in the first inning. Flew out to left in the second. On the ground, back through the middle and into center field for a base hit. Guardiola did a little dance to avoid getting hit by the baseball on that comebacker. So Carter Beck on base. He does have 8 steals on the year. Doesn't necessarily have to steal now. The Berries up 7-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nathan Houston at the plate. Houston fouls off the first pitch, strike 1. Singled and scored in the first inning did Nathan Houston. Reached on an error and scored in the second. 1 for 2 officially. 7 for 18 head for head against Moose Jaw. Down low with a breaking ball, 1-1. Warm day and most everybody now is in the shade, with the exception of the party patio down the left field side. They're still basking in the sunshine here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. That one down low, 2-1. The shadows from our building and the backstop don't quite cover the entire infield, and you have to be sharp in the outfield facing the sun, especially in right. Houston to the right side of the infield. Wallachek takes it to second for 1, back across to first, not in time. Thomas Soto with a spin move after taking the ball from Ben Wallachek at second base, and that extra little motion and throw allowed Houston to reach first on a fielder's choice. Beck retired, 1 away, and Abian Medina at the plate. Struck out in the first and doubled in the second inning, driving in a couple of runs. On the ground, right to Wallachek. The flip to second for 1, the throw on to first. There's a double play. And that ends the inning. 1 hit for the Berries in the bottom of the 4th, first inning in which they don't score a run. No errors by Moose Jaw. First half inning in which they don't commit an error. And nobody left on base. After 4 complete, it is Saskatoon 7, Moose Jaw 2, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Yep. Seven to 2, Saskatoon leads Moose Jaw, heading to the top of the 5th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Michael Saul looking to get through the inning. Hopes that the Berries can hang on and get the victory, make him a winner. Because all he has to do is pitch 5, be in the lead, and have that lead hold in order to get the pitching victory. Saul coming into the game tonight with a record of 1-0 and making his 4th start of the season. First pitch in for a strike to Ben Wallachek, the second baseman. Wallachek grounded to short his first time up. up high, 1-1. One the count on Ben Wallachek with for leadoff man. Breaking ball in for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top of the order after this, Thomas Soto, the shortstop. William Edwards, the center fielder for Moose Jaw. Michael Saul's 1-2 pitch hit in the air, popped up. Abiam Medina and Ethan Menard, and Menard put the glove up as if he was going to catch, but it was Medina who did, standing right beside him. 1 away. Soto singled and scored in the first inning. Thomas Soto, the shortstop, and grounded out to second to end the top of the second. 1 for 2. Thomas Soto in his 3rd season in Moose Jaw. First pitch down low, ball 1. Saul ready to deliver again. That one's down and in, or outside, I should say, ball 2, 2-0. Thomas Soto, a left-handed hitter. Mentioned he's 3rd year in the league. Gets this one in the air, straight away center field. Carter Beck is there to make the catch, and there's quickly 2 away for Moose Jaw in the top of the 5th inning. William Edwards coming up now from New South Wales and played his junior year at the University of Sioux Falls. From Australia to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Sioux Falls is a nice place. It's not New South Wales, Australia, by any stretch of the imagination. First pitch, Saul doesn't get a call. It's ball 1 on William Edwards. Down low, 2-0. Edwards 1 for 2, doubled and scored in the first inning, grounded out in the 3rd. Saul came into this inning only having thrown 46 pitches unofficially. Again down low, ball 3. Unofficially, he's up to 56 pitches. There's no action down the right field line in the Berries bullpen, and nobody warming up down the left field line for Moose Jaw. 3-0 pitch taken all the way for a strike by William Edwards, 3-1. 3-1 pitch is down low, and there's a walk. First one of the night allowed by Michael Saul. 2 away, and Austin Gurney, the number 3 hitter, the right fielder for Moose Jaw, 0 for 2. Soto's in his 3rd season with the Moose Jaw Miller Express. How about Austin Gurney in his 4th year with Moose Jaw? He's played 209 regular season games and playoffs. As the pitch gets away from Rudy Gonzalez towards the backstop and advancing to second on a pass ball is William Edwards. Gurney's hit 322 with 26 home runs and 192 RBI in 209 games as a member of the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Those are pretty good numbers. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Looked like a changeup from Saul, as it didn't have the juice of the normal fastball. 1-1. Gurney's in right field. He's played some first base for Moose Jaw in the past as well. Michael Saul looks at the runner at second, delivers down low, 2-1. Eduardo Saenz, the 3rd baseman, on deck. Saenz has had a solid start to his night at the plate. He's also committed a couple of the errors out of the 5 that Moose Jaw have committed. Outside to Gurney, 3-1. And now there is some activity down the right field line. 7-2. Berries with the lead. 2 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Michael Saul looking to get out of the frame. 3-1 pitch is inside to Gurney, and that's back-to-back walks to bring up Eduardo Sainz. Just now starting to warm up, and I mentioned that he's the 21st pitcher on the staff, but Corey Waters is just now starting to throw. He has not thrown an inning as of yet this year for the Berries. And here comes Joe Carnahan, the head coach of Saskatoon Berries, taking the slow stroll out to the mound to chat with his pitcher, catcher, and all of his infielders. Take a look at Corey Waters and what he did last season. He pitched 13 times for Saskatoon last year, Saskatoon product. A win and a loss, a 5.17 earned run average through 24 and a third innings. Home plate umpire Trevor Drury will come out now and break up the meeting at the mound. And that's as long as that needs to be. Joe Carnahan heads back to the dugout. And Eduardo Sainz, who singled and drove in 2 runs in the first inning, doubled in the third. 2 for 2 tonight. Knocked his average up over 250. Well, now that's a change out here warming up. It's Clay Mixon is starting to warm up now for Saskatoon. Saul pitched to Sainz, down low with a breaking ball, ball 1. Joe Carnahan wants to get Saul through this inning so that he's in line for the win. But he also doesn't want to let this lead get away. Sainz with the double. That was the long shot to center field that Carter Beck got to. This is hit up the right field line and fair. Round third and coming in to score as that is into the bullpen area. William Edwards will score. Coming home is Austin Gurney, and that makes it 7-4. Sainz on second base with a double, and Mixon will start to heat up a little more. Eduardo Sainz has driven in all 4 Moose Jaw runs with 3 hits, including a couple of doubles. So Tanner DeGracia, the left fielder, coming up. Runner at second, 7-4 the score now in favor of Saskatoon. First pitch breaking ball is down low, ball 1. Catcher Gustavo Soto on deck. Saul got the first 2 men out this inning, and it's been tough ever since. Now a ground ball to third. Westland can't make the play cleanly. Advancing to third is Sainz, and DeGracia is on base on an error to the third baseman Cooper Westland. Second error of the ball game against the Berries. And it'll bring up Gustavo Soto, the catcher, who's 0 for 2. Reached on an error to Westland back in the first inning, and well, Saul's not going to get a chance to complete 5 innings. As Joe Carnahan is coming to the mound, and we will have a pitching change here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Runners on first and third, 2 away for Moose Jaw. The tying run potentially coming to the plate in Gustavo Soto. And that'll be all for Michael Saul as he gets a nice round of applause, and Clay Mixon will come on. 4 2/3 innings for Michael Saul. Still responsible for the 2 men on base. But a pretty good effort after a bit of a rough start in the first inning, and now here things getting away from him a little bit. A couple of walks did not help the situation for him here in the top of the 5th inning. So Clay Mixon will come on. For Mixon, this will be, let's see, his, where is he on this list? A little further down. There he is. 9th appearance of the year for Clay Mixon. 2 wins, 1 loss. He has a save, a 3.46 earned run average. 13 innings pitched. He's allowed 13 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned, has struck out 20 and walked 4. Clay Mixon from Baytown, Texas. Went to Dallas College, Brookhaven his freshman year, this past year. His last outing for the Berries was back on July 5th. That would have been Saturday. The 6-4 10-inning loss, in which he was tagged with the loss in the 10th inning against the Regina Red Sox. Pitched 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, only 1 earned, struck out 4, didn't walk anybody. So Clay Mixon on to pitch here with 2 away in the top of the 5th inning. And the Moose Jaw catcher, Gustavo Soto, up and takes a strike. Runner on third, Eduardo Saenz. This one hit up the middle, through for a base hit to make it 7-5. As Saenz will score, DeGrazia up to second base. And up comes Jackson Yeager, the first baseman, now to face Mixon. Clay Mixon is 6'2", 220-pound right-hander. Moose Jaws found their bats here again. 3 runs in here in the top of the 5th inning. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Strike 1 to Jackson Yeager, who's 0 for 2. A couple of ground balls. One that was turned into a double play by the Berries to finish up the bottom of the 1st inning. 1 strike. Swing and a miss again. A change up. Mixon way up. 2 strikes now on Jackson Yeager, looking to finish off the top of the 5th inning. Jackson Martin, the DH, is on deck for Moose Jaw. Down and away, ball 1. Martin comes to the plate. Miller Express will have batted around here in the top of the 5th. 8th hitter of the inning for Moose Jaw. Again, down and away, ball 2, 2-2. Jackson Yeager has struck out a team-leading 46 times, but he also has 30 RBI and a team-leading 5 home runs. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that ends the inning. But Moose Jaw gets back into this ball game in the top of the 5th inning with 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 Saskatoon Berry error, and 2 runners left on base. After 4.5, we're halfway through here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. It's the Saskatoon Berries 7 and the Moose Jaw Miller Express 5 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the 5th inning coming up here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 7-5, the Saskatoon Berries lead the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Rodolfo Guardiola continuing to pitch for Moose Jaw. Obviously he has to get as much out of him as they can before they go to the bullpen. as the Berries will send up the designated hitter Ethan Murdoch, right fielder Evan Janner, and third baseman Cooper Westland to face Guardiola here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Decent outing for Michael Saul. First pitch Guardiola inside to Ethan Murdoch, 1-0. Saul faced 23 batters tonight. Outside to Murdoch, 2-0. Through 67 pitches. Did Saul. We'll have the full line for you on his night coming up momentarily. 2-0 and a breaking ball in for a strike to Ethan Murdoch, who was hoping for a fastball and didn't get it on a 2-0 pitch. 2-1 now. Inside, 3-1. And now we do have action down the right field line in the Moose Jaw bullpen. It's a lefty. And it looks like number 40, Amani Kondo. Ball 4. Leadoff man on here for the Berries in the bottom of the 5th inning. Guardiola came into the inning throwing 67 pitches unofficially. Janner struck out in the 1st inning, reached on an error in the 3rd and scored. 0 for 2 officially. Left-handed hitter. Takes the first pitch strike. Saul's line, 4 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 6 hits, 5 runs for the Mern. Struck out 1, walked 2. Again, now not in line for the win, so long as the Berries continue to hold, as this one's hit into left field. Coming on and making the catch is Tanner DeGrazia for the first out here in the bottom of the 5th. Murdoch holds at first base. Cooper Westland to the plate now, 1 for 2. Singled and drove in a run in the 1st inning. Westland has attended both Hutchinson Community College in Hutchinson, Kansas, and the University of Nebraska at Omaha, in Omaha, Nebraska. Hits one on the ground towards second. It gets underneath the dive of the second baseman Wallachek into right field. Murdoch holds up at second. Well, that's a second base hit for Cooper Westland on the night. And it'll bring up Jalen Freeman, the left fielder, who's had a couple of groundouts. Nine hits for the Berries tonight. First pitch to Freeman is outside, ball 1. A walk and a hit have got the Berries with 2 men on here with 1 out. On the ground towards first, be taken unassisted by the first baseman, Yeager, and the runners Murdoch to third and Cooper Westland to second. So 2 away for Rudy Gonzalez, the catcher, who has a couple of hits and a couple of runs scored. See if Gonzalez can continue his perfect night at the plate in this his 3rd game and 2nd start behind the plate for the Berries since joining the team. Gonzalez from Edinburgh, Texas. Swing and a miss. It gets away from the catcher, and Ethan Murdoch will scamper home with the Berries' 8th run. A pass ball on the catcher, Gustavo Soto. Cooper Westland makes his way down to third. Catcher Soto wondered if that wasn't a tip ball and it should be foul. But a swing and a miss by Gonzalez. And it got away from Soto. So the Berries' lead is up to 3 now. 8-5. Down low, blocked by Soto. Westland. Secondary lead takes him about a third of the way down the line and has to be careful that he doesn't get himself thrown out here. Give Gonzalez a chance to bring him home with a 1-1 count coming. In for strike 2. Fastball thrown by Guardiola. We haven't seen a lot of those from him in this ball game. A lot of curves and change-ups. He's up 1-2 on Gonzalez and down low 2-2. Top of the order, Ethan Menard on deck for the Berries. Hoping to get another crack at it. A lot of deuces across the top line of the scoreboard in right center field here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 2-2 pitch fouled off back to the screen. And Gonzalez stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the bottom of the 5th. 1 run in. Berries up 8-5 on Moose Jaw. The pitch on the ground towards shortstop. Soto fields it, throws to first in time, and that ends the inning. But the Berries get a run back on 1 hit. There were no errors for Moose Jaw and 1 runner left on base. After 5 complete, Saskatoon 8 and Moose Jaw 5 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. No, just hang on. Yeah, oh yeah, please. 4, up 1, 2, 4, 2, 5, 5, 7, 2, 2, 3, 2, 5, 3, 5, 5. Okay. Now we're good. Back for the top of the 6th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 8-5 the Saskatoon Berries leading the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Mentioned it at the top of the broadcast here on FloCollege that this was the last of 11 straight games and days for the Berries playing. They started this on June the 28th and are 9-1 during these times, finishing off the 11-game stretch. They're off tomorrow, head down to Weyburn to play the Beavers on Thursday and Friday, and then back here for a 2-game series against the Swift Current 57s on Saturday evening and Sunday afternoon. Clay Mixon out, and his first pitch here in the bottom or the top of the 6th inning is a strike to Jackson Martin. Martin 0 for 2, flew out and struck out against starting pitcher Michael Saul. A couple of strikes now on Martin as that was a change-up that fooled the left-handed hitter. That's one's ball 1, 1-2. Mentioned Martin's from Grand Coulee, Saskatchewan, not far from Moose Jaw. 1-2 pitch hit, little line drive, and Cooper Westland is positioned perfectly to catch the ball, 1 away. They'll bring up the second baseman, Ben Wallachek. 0 for 2 tonight. He was 2 for 3 last night. Has a mini 3-game hitting streak on the go. Now 3 for 13 head-to-head against the Berries. The 13 at-bats matches his uniform number. Used to be nobody wore 13. Now a lot of guys do. Wallachek takes a strike. Bad luck was 13 back in the day. Inside ball 1. But like I say, the more you watch sports these days, the more you see 13s being worn. Guys laughing in the face of superstition. In there for a strike with a changeup, 1-2. Top of the order coming up next for the Miller Express and Thomas Soto. 1-2 pitch. Gets away from Rudy Franklin all the way to the backstop, but nobody on base, so no damage done. 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch fouled off as Wallachek reaches across, spoils a pretty good offering. 2-2 the count still. Ben Wallachek has 16 stolen bases, which is tied for second in the WCBL. 2-2 pitch. Gonzalez thought that was strike 3. Started to throw the ball around the infield and had to hold up as that's now a full count. Wallachek's also tied for the league lead in walks with 27. 3-2 pitch. This one's lined. This is a base hit. And so a single for Ben Wallachek, and with 1 out, Moose Jaw has a man on base. 8th hit of the night for the Miller Express. It'll bring up the top of the order, and Thomas Soto, who's 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the first inning. 3 for 19 in the season series for Thomas Soto against the Saskatoon Berries. First pitch outside, knocked down by Gonzalez, and Wallachek holds his ground at first. Ball 1. Soto with 123 at-bats coming into the game was among the league leaders in that, as there's a strike, 1-1. Thomas Soto leads the league in runs scored with 45. On the ground, that'll get past Ethan Menard into right field. Wallachek turning second, heading for third. And Ethan Menard will hang on to the ball, or make that Evan Janner will hang on to the ball and get it back into the infield as Soto with a single, Wallachek around to third, first and third with 1 out. And Corey Waters is back up throwing for the Berries down the right field line. William Edwards coming to the plate. Top of the 6th. He represents the tying run as it stands right now, does Edwards. As Clay Mixon looking to wriggle his way out of this. Low side, ball 1 with a curve. Edwards 1 for 2, doubled and scored in the first inning, walked and scored in the 5th. Those have been the 2 big innings for Moose Jaw. Edwards hammers this one in the air, left center field, and that one is gone. Tie ball game. Clay Mixon upset, but Edwards hammers that one. His 6th home run of the season is a 3-run shot to tie this ball game up at 8-8. And that quiets down the crowd here significantly at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. And Joe Carnahan will come to the mound, and that may be it for Clay Mixon, as Corey Waters continues to warm up down the right field line. And that is going to be it for Mixon. And Corey Waters is going to make his season debut as a pitcher. We mentioned Waters' record last season as a pitcher. Saw a lot of action for the Berries on the mound last season. 13 appearances, all in relief, a 1-1 record, and a 5.17 earned run average. Just 2/3 of an inning for Clay Mixon tonight. As Waters comes into the game. And he'll face Austin Gurney, a left-handed hitter. So left-handed pitching, Corey Waters, to face the left-handed hitting Austin Gurney here in the top of the 6th inning in a tie ball game. Waters has also done some pitching at the college level at Mid-Plains McCook. Mid-Plains Community College McCook campus in Nebraska. In 2024, pitched 11 games, 4 starts, 1 complete game, 3-7 record, and an 8.71 earned run average. And in 2025 at McCook, 9 games, 5 starts, 4-3 records, 6.42 earned run average for Corey Waters, who comes into the game, and he'll face Austin Gurney here in the top of the 6th inning as we're back to even Steven. 8-8. It was 7-2 after 3. Waters ready to deliver his first pitch. Fouled off at the plate by Gurney, strike 1. William Edwards with a 3-run homer. Give him 38 RBI, which is second in the league behind only his teammate, Austin Gurney, who's at the bat right now. Breaking ball outside, 1-1. Gurney walked and scored in the 5th inning. He's 0 for 2 otherwise. Gurney from Campbell River, BC. Down low, 2-1. Clay Mixon got the first out in this top of the 6th inning, but then a couple of singles and a home run. Gurney lays down a bunt, but foul down the third baseline. He saw that third baseman Westland was playing way back and tried the element of surprise. It would have worked, except it was fouled. 2-2. So keep that in mind if you're the Berries. Don't be caught napping on Austin Gurney and his ability to lay down a bunt for a base hit. 2-2 count. Curve ball hit in the air to right field. Evan Janner is there to make the catch. 2 away. So now it's the third baseman, Eduardo Saenz, who's had a perfect night at the plate. 3 for 3 with 4 runs batted in and a run scored. Saenz was only hitting .248 coming into this game, but he has definitely woken up that bat tonight. Saenz from Laredo, Texas, coming off his junior year at Texas A&M International. Up high and away, ball 1. Saenz, a teammate of ABM Medina with the Berries in the college season. Waters 1-0 pitch. Hit on the ground up the middle. Speaking of Medina, he'll field that behind the bag. Throw on to first. And in time to retire the side. Waters gets 2 batters out to retire the side, but Moose Jaw has tied it up. 3 runs on 3 hits. No Berries errors, no runners left on base. After 5.5, we're knotted at 8 between the Saskatoon Berries and the Moose Jaw Miller Express as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, I love this one. Yo. I love it.
So bottom of the sixth inning, and Rodolfo Guardiola, it's his night to pitch on behalf of Moose Jaw, even though the Miller Express do have a man warming up down the left field line, ready to go in case needed in Amani Kondo out of Chiba, Japan, coming off his junior year at Valley City State University. Top of the order for the Berries here in the bottom of the sixth, Ethan Menard, Carter Beck, and Nathan Houston. Guardiola has thrown 83 pitches unofficially through 5 innings. Menard 2 for 3. Got plate appearances in each of the first 3 innings and hasn't seen the plate since. First pitch inside, ball 1. Singled and scored in the first inning. Singled and drove in a run in the third, has Ethan Menard. 2 for 3 tonight. On the ground but wide of third base, foul. 1-1 the count. Guardiola ready to deliver a 1-1 pitch. Popped up, foul out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Moose Jaw's lost 4 in a row. They're 13-20, and they've yet to beat the Berries. They hit well. They're getting a decent pitching performance, mostly because they're forcing him to do this. Guardiola outside 2-2. Head coach Eric Marriott is letting his starter go for as long as he can before he finally takes him out. The offense has given him the support he needs to stay in the ball game. Inside, full count. Just missed hitting Ethan Menard, who has yet to be hit by a pitch this season. Guardiola's payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Off-speed delivery, and Menard couldn't hold off. Let's see. That's only the second strikeout for Rodolfo Guardiola in this game. He struck out Evan Janner in the third strikeout. He struck out 2 guys in the first inning, Abia Medina and Evan Janner, but that's his first strikeout since then. Carter Beck up, first pitch down and in, ball 1. Beck 1 for 2, singled in the 4th inning, walked and scored in the 1st. Outside, ball 2. With that knuckle curve looking type pitch. Well, we got the radar gun out behind home plate in the hands of some Berries players. 2-0 pitch, hit on the ground, deflected by the glove of Guardiola. Thomas Soto with the throw, and he gets him. 2 away. Hit back up the middle, and it looked like Guardiola spun and got a piece of it with his glove. Thomas Soto was able to come in behind the bag at second, field and make a strong throw for the out. So now Nathan Houston, the shortstop, 1 for 3. Couple of runs scored for the former member of the Moose Jaw Miller Express. First pitch fastball in for a strike. Guardiola back. This one popped up in the air. In behind third. Thomas Soto over catches it in fair territory. And that is the 1-2-3 bottom of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no Moose Jaw errors, nobody left on base through 6 complete. It is Saskatoon 8, Moose Jaw 8. You're watching Barrie's baseball on FloCollege. Unofficial line score through 6 innings for the Saskatoon Berries. 8 runs on 9 hits. They've committed 2 errors, left 4 runners on base. For Moose Jaw, 8 runs on 10 hits. They've committed 5 errors and have left 5 runners on base. 8-8 going to the top of the 7th inning. Corey Waters back out to pitch for the Berries. Action down the right field line. Looks like Clavert Martinez starting to warm up. Waters will face Tanner DeGrazia, Gustavo Soto, and Jackson Yeager here in the top of the 7th. As we're an hour and 50 minutes into this one. First pitch strike to DeGrazia. He's 1 for 3 tonight, singled in the first. .272 hitter coming into the night. On the ground towards the shortstop, Houston picks it. Throws on to first in time. 1 away. Brings up Gustavo Soto. Singled and drove in a run back in the 5th inning. 1 for 3 for the Moose Jaw catcher. Now has hits in 4 of his last 5 games, hitting .333 in that time with 5 RBI. Up high with a fastball, ball 1 from Waters. Corey Waters, the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Saskatoon Berries. Fouled off over top of the first base bleachers. 1-1 the count. The big bat of Jackson Yeager. All or nothing for him. He's got 5 home runs. He's also struck out 47 times this year. That one's up high, 2-1. Jackson Yeager on deck for Moose Jaw. See what happens with Gustavo Soto in this at-bat. Two-1 upstairs, 3-1. 105 Saskatoonians on the Berries roster. Corey Waters. Ready to deliver a 3-1 pitch, and that's up high, ball 4. So Soto is on with 1 out, and Jackson Yeager coming to the plate. Yeager is 0 for 3. Hits in 6 of his last 7 games coming into tonight. The average, though, just barely over 200. He came into tonight hitting 236. And that's a strike up high in the zone from Waters. DH Jackson Martin is on deck. At least he's supposed to be, and he is. Fouled off at the plate by Yeager, 0-2. You wonder if head coach Eric Marriott might be looking at a pinch hitter for the left-hand hitting Martin coming up against the left-handed pitching Corey Waters in the DH spot in the order. 2-strike pitch, fouled off, unable to be held by Rudy Gonzalez. Yeager holds the count alive at 2 strikes. 8-8 in the top of the 7th inning. Edging off of first base is Gustavo Soto. Breaking pitch called strike 3. Waters with his first strikeout of this appearance. Got 2 away. Jackson Martin now to the dish. He's 0 for 3, including a strikeout against the starting pitcher, Michael Saul, back in the 4th inning. Waters ready to deliver. And that one's down low and outside. Good block by Rudy Gonzalez, ball 1. Gustavo Soto, not really a threat to go, has not attempted a stolen base. Now watch him try and take off here. Just when I say that, just because I said that. Breaking ball upstairs, 2-0. Second baseman Ben Wallachek is on deck for Moose Jaw. Waters behind 2-0. Pitching out of the stretch, Gustavo Soto with a nice sized lead, and then he bounces back towards the bag, and the pitch is down and away, ball 3. Clavert Martina waves his cap towards the dugout as if to say, I'm ready to go if you need me. And that could come sooner than you think. 3-0 pitch is down low, a 4-pitch walk. Gustavo Soto up to second base. Martin on first, and Joe Carnahan is coming out to the mound. And with the right-handed hitting Ben Wallachek coming to the dish, there is going to be a pitching change. Clavert Martina is going to come on. So, end of the line for Corey Waters, his first relief appearance of the season. An inning and a third. No hits. 1 strikeout, 2 walks. He is responsible for the 2 men who are on base through 22 pitches and faced 6 batters. So Clavert Martina will come on, 4th pitcher of the night for the Saskatoon Berries. Martina will make his 11th appearance of the season, all out of the bullpen. He's got 2 saves, a 3.52 earned run average, 15 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 17 hits, 6 runs all earned, struck out 14 and walked 3. Clavert Martina coming on in relief. He'll face Ben Wallachek here in the top of the 7th inning in an 8-8 tie. 2 men on. So a big spot here for Martina to try and stop any potential scoring here from the Moose Jaw Miller Express. All right. Where's my Clavert Martina? There it is. It was the second one. Again, Martina has pitched in this league in other places. He was in Regina back in 2022 and Swift Current last year with the 57s. Coming off his senior year at Eastern New Mexico University. He, like Jalen Freeman, also a bit of a college baseball nomad. He's pitched in a few places. But right now, he wants to settle down here in Saskatoon and get a third out in this top of the seventh inning without any damage. Down low, ball one to Wallachek. Singled and scored his last time up in the sixth inning. 1 for 3 for the product of Wichita, Kansas. Martina checks the runners. 1-0 pitch, up high, 2-0. Gonzalez came out of the crouch ready to throw to first. In case Jackson Martin got too big of a secondary lead. That wasn't the case. Now Wallachek has the advantage here as Martina needs to come in with a strike. Down 2-0 in the count. Fastball in there for a strike. Wallachek taking 2-1. Martina from Curacao. Now takes his foot off the rubber. He's pitched for Western Oklahoma State College in Altus, Oklahoma, Mid-America Christian University in Oklahoma City, and of course, Eastern New Mexico University in Portales, New Mexico. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes now, count even to Ben Wallachek. Second game of a 2-game mini home series for the Berries against the Moose Jaw Miller Express. It's about as good as it gets. You don't usually get like you have in the majors or in the minors, minor pro levels. 3-4 straight games against the same team. Up high, full count now. Top of the order, Thomas Soto on deck for Moose Jaw. I think Martina would like to get out of this before he has to face the top of the order. 8-8 tie, top of the seventh. 2 outs, 3-2 pitch upcoming. Runners should be going with the pitch. They do go, and Martina pitches, and that's fouled back to the screen. Runners have to go back. Full count remains. Martina ready to deliver that full count pitch a second time. 3-2. Down low, ball 4. A bases loaded situation now, as that's a third walk here issued by the Berries in this inning. And up comes Thomas Soto, the shortstop, who's 2 for 4. Singles and scored in each of the first and sixth inning. A good hitter is Thomas Soto, and will not be intimidated by the fastball of Clavert Martina. He's seen Martina before when he pitched last year for Swift Current. First pitch in for a strike. Past the 2-hour mark in the ball game. Partly cloudy skies, 25 degrees Celsius. Still that southeast wind gusting to 36 kilometers per hour. 1 strike pitch is outside, 1-1. Gustavo Soto, no relation to Thomas. trying to create a distraction, sprinting down the third base line, trying to be a problem for Clavert Martina, whose sole focus is on getting Thomas Soto at the plate here right now. 1-1 the count. Hit on the ground. Hits the umpire. Clipped it by the shortstop, and play is whistled down. The run scores. It's a dead ball. Well, he just pointed at home plate. So the home plate, or the base umpire, Aaron Zavold, gets hit by the ground ball. Everybody is safe, and it's now 9-8 for Moose Jaw. So 2 away here, and a strange one where the umpire gets hit by the ball and everybody gets their base, including the runner on third, Gustavo Soto, who scores to make it 9-8. Don't think it's a hit. I don't think it's an error. It's just something that happens in the ball game. So now William Edwards, who hit the 3-run homer last inning, is at the plate and takes a strike from Martina. He's shaking out his left hand as the umpire, Aaron Zavold. That was smart. That was coming at pretty good speed. 1 strike pitch, breaking ball outside, 1-1. Bases loaded still, 2 away in the top of the 7th. A run in to make it 9-8 for the visitors. Fouled off at the plate by William Edwards. 1-2 the count. They fouls that off his left ankle, feeling the effects of that, even though he's got a pad there. Might have caught him on the instep as much as anything rather than on the pad. That would still be no fun. So now we got a couple of people feeling the effects of getting hit by the ball. Martina, 1-2 pitch upcoming to William Edwards. Fastball, foul back to the screen. Edwards stays alive, 1-2. Martina says he'll touch 93, 94 miles an hour with his fastball. He's ready to go with another 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch, strike 3. Swing and a miss to get out of the inning. But Moose Jaw takes the lead, scoring a run without a hit. There were no Barry's errors and 3 runners left on base. Heading to the 7th inning stretch, it is Moose Jaw 9 and Saskatoon 8 as you're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. Yeah, I see that. I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know where they are or anything. Ah, there you go. Oh, that's fine. That's good.
Thank you so much. I was starting to not be able to see the numbers. It's like, ugh. So it was an interesting night with Barry's baseball.
Mm. New pitcher coming into the ball game for Moose Jaw as they have a 9-8 lead. Rodolfo Guardiola's night is done after 6 innings. And it's Amani Kondo coming on. Kondo from Chiba, Japan, coming off his junior season at Valley City State University. 6 foot, 180-pound left-handed pitcher for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Kondo is going to make his 6th appearance of the season, all out of the bullpen. Has a loss to his credit, an 8.64 earned run average. 8 in the 3rd innings pitched. He's allowed 12 hits, 8 runs all earned, struck out 9, walked 5. He'll face the middle third of the Berries order, Abiam Medina, then Ethan Murdoch and Evan Janner. 2 of the 3 are left-handed hitters. Kondo's first pitch, breaking ball, and swung through and missed by Medina, who's 1 for 3. Doubled and drove in 2 runs back in the 2nd inning. He hasn't been to the plate since the 4th. Another breaking pitch hit in the air to left field, backing up to Grazia, and he'll make the catch on the warning track for the first out. It'll bring up Ethan Murdoch. Was 0 for 2 tonight. Walked and scored in the 5th inning. Amani Kondo delivering. Breaking pitch. This is lined foul towards the Moose Jaw bullpen. Lots of folks ducking down there, but it didn't quite get to their bench area. Strike 1. Now we start seeing somebody else start to warm up down the left field line for Moose Jaw as Murdoch fouls another pitch off into the screen. 2 strikes. Ethan Merck begins to warm up. He has just rejoined the team. We'll see if he gets into the ball game tonight. Breaking ball down low, 1 and 2. Murdoch, slightly open stance in the right-handed batter's box. 1-2 pitch is down low, 2 and 2. Gustavo Soto thought they had themselves a strikeout for a second. Not so, according to home plate umpire Trevor Drury. 2-2 pitch. Outside, full count. Evan Janner is on deck. 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Second baseman Wallachek calling for it and makes the catch. 2 away in the bottom of the 7th. Evan Janner 0 for 3 tonight, scored after reaching on an error in the 3rd inning. Another left-handed hitter for the Berries. Cooper Westland, a right-handed hitter, will come out into the on-deck circle. Amani Kondo's first pitch to Janner on the outside corner, strike 1. (9-8) Moose Jaw leads in the bottom of the 7th. Janner, check swing, down and away, ball 1. One pitch is a strike. 1 and 2 the count on Janner. Here comes the delivery. Fouled off. Past the Berries first base dugout. Stays alive at 1 and 2. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 8 straight berries that have gone out in this ball game since 1 out and scoring their last run in the bottom of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no Moose Jaw errors, nobody left on base. After 7, it's the Miller Express 9, the Berries 8. You're watching Saskatoon Berries baseball on FloCollege. As we head to the top of the 8th inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, let's take a look out of town. In the top of the 8th inning, Fort McMurray leads Energy City 4-2. Sylvan Lake up on Brooks 6-5 in the top of the 8th. Top of the 7th inning, Lethbridge has a 6-1 lead in Okotoks. In the bottom of the 7th, Medicine Hat is up 12-5 on Weyburn. And in the top of the 6th inning, Regina laying a licking on Swift Current to the tune of 15-1. That's out of town in the Western Canadian Baseball League. Austin Gurney will lead it off against Clavert Martina here in the top of the 8th inning. The meat of the order for Moose Jaw. Gurney, Eduardo Saenz, the third baseman, and Tanner DeGrazia, the left fielder. 4-year veteran Gurney has seen Martina before, and his first pitch gets away from Rudy Gonzalez to the backstop, ball 1. Gurney is 0 for 3, walked and scored in the 5th inning. Came into the game a .398 hitter. 5th best in the WHL, or in the WCBL I should say, and he lashes a base hit up the middle into center field to lead off the top of the 8th. That's hit number 11 on the night for the Moose Jaw Miller Express, and Eduardo Saenz, who has 3 of those hits and 4 RBI coming to the plate. Saenz is singled, doubled, grounded out, 3 for 4. 4 RBI. Productive night. First pitch from Martina up high, ball 1. Joe Carnahan would like to get multiple innings, multiple outs from Martina. This one hit in the air, left field. Jalen Freeman settling under it in medium depth out left field, makes the catch and gets the ball back into the infield. Austin Gurney will hold it first. Saenz got under that one a little bit. 1 out, I should say. Tanner DeGrazia, the hitter. 1 for 4 on the night. Singled in the first inning. DeGrazia with hits now in 5 of 6 games. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Hard slider, it looks like. You got Gurney on it first. Pitch up outside, ball 1. Austin Gurney does a lot of little things well. He also steals bases. He's got 7, been only caught once. could be a candidate to take off. Fastball in for a strike. 1-2 the count. Clavert Martina looking to put the Grazia away here right now if he can. 1-2, curveball on the ground. Cooper Westland with it on to second for one. The first not in time. DeGrazia has pretty good wheels, so a fielder's choice. Erases Gurney at second base. 2 away. And Gustavo Soto, the catcher, coming up. He's 1 for 3, singled in the 5th inning, walked and scored in the 7th. Scored the go-ahead run in this game as Moose Jaw has the lead for the second time tonight. They scored 2 in the 1st inning, only to have Saskatoon come back with 3 in the bottom of the 1st, and the Berries look to be in command after 4 with a 7-3 lead as Martina with a toss over to check on DeGrazia, who's been hit 17 times by a pitch and has 2 stolen bases but been caught twice. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 on Soto with a bit of a breaking pitch. Change of speeds there. 3-run innings in the 5th and 6th for Moose Jaw. Got them tied up after 6 innings. And then went ahead in the top of the 7th by 1, which is where we're at now. Another check on DeGrazia at first. Martina glancing back over his shoulder. Check swing, and he went too far, did Soto, and it's 2 strikes. Stirring in the right field Barry's bullpen. Looks like Noah McCombs is going to maybe start to loosen up. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That ends the inning. 1 hit, 1 runner left on base, no runs, no Berries errors in the top of the 8th inning. And after 7.5, it is Moose Jaw 9, Saskatoon 8 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. I'll do it right away. I just asked. We'll get it here right away. Bottom of the 8th inning, Amani Kondo back out for the Moose Jaw Miller Express. Left-handed reliever, second pitcher of the night for Moose Jaw. He'll face the numbers 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Berries. Jalen Freeman, Rudy Gonzalez, and then the top of the order for Ethan Menard. Actually, it's Cooper Westland who's up first, so it's the bottom 3rd of the order. My mistake. Down the right field line, or down the left field line, I should say, Ethan Merck continues to warm up for the Miller Express. Kondo's first pitch way high and outside, all the way to the backstop, ball 1. Kondo ready to come back 1-0. Breaking ball in for a strike, 1-1. Westland 2 for 3 tonight. Couple of singles and an RBI. Barry's third baseman. Hits one in the air into right center field. That'll get down. Austin Gurney comes across to cut it off, and he'll throw it all the way back to first. It gets away, but the catcher Soto is backing up in foul territory on the first base side, and so no advance as Westland with his third hit of the game. Austin Gurney thought he would maybe catch Westland maybe a little bit over anxious coming around first base, taking too big of a turn and throw him out, but he lacked accuracy on the throw. Freeman shows strike. It's a call, or shows bunts. It's called strike. And then diving back into first base is Cooper Westland as the catcher Soto came barreling out from behind the plate ready to throw. One strike on Freeman, who shows bunt again. Down low as he takes. 1-1. 1,793 the announced attendance tonight here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field.
It looks like 2,000 now.
Again showing bunt, gets it down. Soto out to get the ball, throws to first in time to get Freeman. But Westland over to second on the sacrifice. And the first out. So now two chances for the Berries to bring home Westland from second base with the tying run. Rudy Gonzalez gets first crack at it. He's 2 for 3 tonight with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Berries getting their 10th hit courtesy of Cooper Westland. Now need an 11th hit in the ball game to bring home the tying run. Amani Kondo, left-handed pitcher against right-handed hitting Rudy Gonzalez. And the first pitch fastball in on the inside corner, strike one. Gonzalez crowds the plate a little. That pitch was right inside, in on the hands. Breaking pitch outside, 1-1. Soto thought that was pretty good. 9-8 Moose Jaw at the bottom of the 8th inning. Swing and a miss by Gonzalez, 1-2. It's the 4th time in a week that these teams have played. In each of the 3 previous games, Moose Jaw has had a lead late in the ball game, only to have the Berries come back and win. Gonzalez fouls it off out of play down the first base side. Count holds 1-2. Top of the order, Ethan Menard on deck. Westland at second. Popped up. Second baseman Wallachek there to make the catch. 2 away, and now it's Ethan Menard coming up. He is 2 for 4 tonight, a couple of singles, scored a run, has an RBI. Would love to get a big RBI right now if he could. Some in the crowd is 1793, hoping to will the Berries into another come-from-behind victory. Ethan Merck warming up down the left field line for Moose Jaw. Kondo's first pitch, big swing and a miss by Menard, strike one. He was swinging to take that one out of the yard if he could have gotten it. One strike pitch from Kondo, swing and a miss, strike two. As that's a slow breaking pitch from Kondo, and he's way up in the count now on Ethan Menard. Menard needs to guard against the fastball as Kondo backs off the mound. We've got some leather lungs out in the crowd in the diamond section. 2-strike pitch. Fouled back to the screen, staying alive. 2 hours and 28 minutes into this ball game. Amani Kondo looking to get out of this. And he hits Menard with a breaking pitch. So first and second, with 2 away, first batter hit by a pitch in tonight's game. And now Carter Beck, a left-handed hitter, to face the left-handed pitching Kondo. Beck 1 for 3, walked and scored a run in the first inning, singled in the fourth. Dustin Mulliken, the pitching coach, going to come out and chat with Amani Kondo. I can't think that they would be making a pitching change here just right now. And it's the pitching coach out first, having a word with Amani Kondo. It'll be Carter Beck hitting. Left-handed batter against left-handed pitcher, but then it's Nathan Houston after him. If Beck gets on, a right-handed batter. And you might see a change at that point from head coach Eric Marriott of the Moose Jaw Miller Express if there has not been a run scored. Let's say Beck walks, or it's a base hit and loads the bases. Try thinking along with the Moose Jaw head coach. But right now, situation time. Beck with a chance to bring home the tying run. 2 away. First pitch, fastball in for a strike. Carter Beck is 3 for 17 in his last 5 games. One strike pitch. Breaking ball inside, almost hit him. 1-1. Kondo ready to deliver. 1-1 pitch. Runners on second and first. Foul back over top of the screen, out of play. 1-2 the count. One and two the count on Carter Beck here with 2 away in the bottom of the 8th inning. A 9-8 lead for Moose Jaw. Swing and the foul ball. Just got a piece of that to stay alive. Spoiled a good pitch from Amani Kondo. That one was breaking way out of the zone, and Beck got a piece of it. So now again, a 1-2 pitch to Carter Beck. Breaking ball outside. 2-2 the count. Deuces across the top of the scoreboard here in right center field at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on. 9-8. Moose Jaw with the lead. Kondo's pitch. Hit on the ground, but foul just past first base. And they'll do it all over again. Ready to go again. Amani Kondo, bottom of the 8th inning. And now he'll step off. Call time. Noah McCombs warming up down the right field line for the Berries. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 3 on Beck. Kondo with a big strikeout to get out of the bottom of the 8th inning. The Berries with no runs, 1 hit, no Moose Jaw errors, and 2 runners left on base. After 8 complete, it is Moose Jaw 9, Saskatoon 8, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't touch anything. That's better, right?
Just this. Left on base. So top of the ninth inning here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 9-8 Moose Jaw with the lead. Clavert Martina back out to pitch for Saskatoon. He'll face the bottom third of the Miller Express order. First baseman Jackson Yeager, DH Jackson Martin, and second baseman Ben Wallachek. The warm-up action down the left field line has stopped. Remains to be seen whether Amani Kondo is going to go back out for the bottom of the ninth or if it'll be Ethan Merck, who has been warming up for Moose Jaw. Jackson Yeager is 0 for 4 tonight, a couple of strikeouts. This will be a power against power matchup. Clavert Martina and the big fastball. Yeager, who likes to hit bombs, hits one up the middle, but right there positioned perfectly is Abiam Medina, and the throw on to first for the one out. It'll bring up the designated hitter Jackson Martin, who's 0 for 3 with a walk. Time winding down in this one, top of the ninth inning, a one-run lead for Moose Jaw. As Jackson Martin gets all of his padding in place, now enters the left-hand batting box against Martina. First pitch is inside, ball one. Martina ready to deliver. Fastball in there for a strike. 1-1. Hometown is Kanga Curacao for Clavert Martina. Martin shows bunt, fouls it off though. 1-2. Ben Wallachek, the second baseman, on deck, and then it's to the top of the order for Thomas Soto. Martina ready to deliver. 1-2 pitch coming to Jackson Martin. Swung on, fouled down the left field side and beyond the party patio. Martin stays alive. Martin coming off his sophomore year at College of the Desert. Another 1-2 pitch from Clavert Martina. Off speed, fouled off again. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jackson Martin extending the at-bat. Battling, trying to get on base here. 1-2 pitch is fouled off. Back to the screen. Got a piece of it. Count holds 1-2 as he's fouled off 3 straight pitches. Actually a fourth because he tried to bunt at 1-1 and fouled that off. Again, 1-2. And again, a foul off at the plate. Just a piece of it. Jackson Martin battling against Clavert Martina here in the top of the ninth. Eighth pitch of the at-bat. Swing and a miss, strike three. Martina reached back for a little extra there and gets the second out. So now Ben Wallachek comes up. He's 1 for 3. Singled and scored in the 6th inning. Walked his last time up in the 7th. Martinez first pitch up high, ball 1. Apparently there's a little bit of chirping going on back and forth between Clavert Martina and Jackson Martin after that last strikeout pitch. Now Martinez behind 2-0 on Ben Wallachek. Pours in a strike, 2-1. Top of the order, Thomas Soto is on deck for Moose Jaw, if he gets a chance here in the top of the ninth. Needs Wallachek to get on base safely. 2-1 pitch. Hit on the ground towards second. Abia Medina with it. On to first in time. And that's a 1-2-3 top of the ninth inning. So we head to the bottom of the ninth. And the Berries are down 1. Now we've got Wallachek down at first base having some words with Ethan Menard, and the first base coach for the Moose Jaw Miller Express separates, and still a lot of banter going on back and forth. Wallachek is still hot under the collar as he has his glove and cap retrieved for him so he can take his position at second base. Anyway, heading to the bottom of the ninth, 9-8 is the score for Moose Jaw over Saskatoon. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
I thought we were going to get a commercial there. It's like, what is happening?
Bottom of the ninth, heart of the order for the Berries, down 1. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, second baseman Abian Medina, and designated hitter Ethan Murdoch. Amani Kondo back out. Check swing by Houston on a pitch down and in, ball 1. Houston 1 for 4 tonight. Singled and scored in the first inning, also scored in the second. Pitch in there for a strike. 1-1. Houston last ahead of bat in the 6th inning. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, 1-2. Amani Kondo has come on and looked pretty good here in relief of Rodolfo Guardiola, who pitched the first 6 innings. And now Kondo looking to finish it off. Down low, breaking pitch, 2-2. Many of the crowd of 1,793 have stuck around, wanting to see another comeback. 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. Soto bopped the ball but has to throw him out at first and completes the strikeout. And there's one away here in the bottom of the ninth. So Abian Medina, the second baseman, coming up. He's 1 for 4, doubled and drove in 2 runs back in the second inning. Flew out to left. This is the second time around now for Condo facing Barrie's hitters. Medina flew out to left field his first time up against Condo. Fouls the first pitch back into the third base bleachers. Right through the hands of one guy and caught by the person right in behind him. 1 strike on Medina. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. Two-strike count. Line drive, but hooking foul. 2 strikes on Medina. The count holds. That was well tagged, but looked like one of my drives off the tee. A little bit of a banana going right. Amani Kondo. 2-strike pitch again to Abian Medina. Slow breaking pitch. Popped up. This is going to be in foul territory and out of play. Count remains 2 strikes. Final inning of 11 straight days of baseball. Medina again fouls it off. Hanging in tough with 2 strikes against Amani Kondo. 3 straight foul balls. Ethan Murdoch on deck. Evan Janner in the hole. Fouled off again by Medina. 4 straight 2-strike pitches fouled off as Medina battles with Amani Kondo here in the bottom of the 9th with 1 away. A 1-run Moose Jaw lead. Miller Express looking to win for the first time in 6 head-to-head meetings with the Berries. 2-strike pitch. Hit in the air, center field. William Edwards is there. He'll make the catch, and there's 2 away. So it's down to the last chance hotel for the Berries. It'll be Ethan Murdoch, who was the hero last night with a loud double off the center field fence that brought in the winning run in the bottom of the 9th. Can lightning strike twice for the Swift Current product? Murdoch is 0 for 3 tonight. Breaking pitch, and it's hit foul past third base, strike 1. Murdoch walked and scored in the 5th inning. One strike pitch is called. No, I thought he was going to call strike 2, but it's ball 1. Trevor Drury took the hand off of his right side and looked like he was going to ring up strike 2 and then didn't do so. So 1-1 the count. 1-1 pitch. Murdoch fouls it off towards the Moose Jaw dugout. So now the Berries are down to their last strike. 1-2 with 2 away. Kondo's pitch. Hit in the air, but Law well hit, but well foul. Left field side. And the count holds at 1-2. Murdoch calls time. Gets back into the batter's box. Kondo back on the rubber. A second 1-2 pitch upcoming. Up and away, ball 2, 2-2. Evan Janner is on deck. 2-2 pitch, foul back to the screen. Count remains 2-2.
He should be getting tired by now.
2-2. Breaking pitch down low, and now full count.
Come on, get a walk.
Murdoch taps his helmet as if to say, okay, discipline, discipline. Don't swing at anything that's not a strike. Make him come to you. 3-2 with 2 away. Fans hooting and hollering. Hit on the ground. Third baseman signs, knocks it down, gets up, throws on the first. It's caught by Jackson Yeager, and that's the ball game. 3 up, 3 down for the Berries in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the Moose Jaw Miller Express have their first win of the season in 6 meetings with the Saskatoon Berries. Your final score tonight, Moose Jaw 9 and Saskatoon 8. We'll be back with the final totals next from Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Well, we got a finished ball game here tonight, and the Moose Jaw Miller Express come up with a big win over the Saskatoon Berries tonight here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, as Moose Jaw ends a 4-game losing streak and a 5-game losing streak head-to-head against the Saskatoon Berries, winning by a final score tonight of 9-8. Moose Jaw had their problems fielding the ball early in the ball game, but they were able to stick with it and come away victorious. As your final unofficial line score for the Moose Jaw Miller Express, 9 runs on 11 hits. They committed 5 errors and left 9 runners on base. For the Saskatoon Berries, 8 runs on 10 hits. They committed 2 errors. They left 6 runners on base. The winning pitcher is Rodolfo Guardiola, the starting pitcher, who gave up 8 runs but pitched 6 innings and was the pitcher of record when the Moose Jaw Miller Express scored the winning run in the top of the 7th inning. So Guardiola is the winner. His record now 3-1 on the year. The losing pitcher, Corey Waters, on in relief for the Berries. His record is 0-1. As far as the records go for Moose Jaw, their 14th win against 20 losses, ending a 4-game losing streak. They're now 9-10 on the road and 1-5 head-to-head against the Saskatoon Berries. The Berries' record is 28 wins and 5 losses. A smallish 2-game winning streak comes to an end. They're 17-2 now at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. 1,793 is the announced attendance tonight in a game that went 2 hours and 50 minutes. Moose Jaw 9, Saskatoon 8 in Western Canadian Baseball League action. Berries are off tomorrow. They'll play 2 games on Thursday and Friday in Weyburn, and their next action back at home is on Saturday night And then again Sunday afternoon, the Swift Current 57's in town to take on the Berries. Saturday's game starts at 6 o'clock, Sunday at 1 o'clock. Until Saturday night at 6 o'clock when we're back with you again from here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. On behalf of all the people involved with Flow Sports, the folks at FloCollege, and again, with regards to all the gang here with the Saskatoon Berries, I'm Les Lazaruk. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast tonight on our webcast on FloCollege. Moose Jaw 9, Saskatoon 8, the final.